Um, so this is it. This is that which can't be known, that which is everything, being this. What can't be known, which is this, which is this. It doesn't become this, it is this, is what's longed for. So in that sense, it's done. It being done sort of points out that the experience of seeking is hopeless. Because seeking is looking for, well, in the end, longing is looking for that which can't be known. And this is that. It's already that. And what that means is this already being that. It's complete. It's needlessly as it is. So that said, this meeting isn't about changing anything. Isn't about finding anything. This didn't find anything. This doesn't have anything that doesn't have. There's no special knowledge, no special experiences. There's no state of awareness going on here that's different than there. The difference, if there is one, here, it's obvious there isn't a difference. But as we discuss it, there'll be claims from you guys that there is. And that difference is, there'll be an experience happening that says or feels, I'm separate. It'll be an experience that I know I'm in a room. It'll be an experience that says, I have the sense that something needs to happen. This isn't it. What the guy in the front's talking about, I don't know what that is. And the only way I'm going to feel better or feel whole or complete is if I do. And so I'll listen and understand and argue or try or be present or do any of those things because the sense is something needs to happen for this to be what that guy in the front is talking about. Now, that's not true. That comes out of the illusory experience that there's a knower in the body that's separate from everything else. And the message is, that whole experience and those questions and that feeling is that. It's already that. So the need for something to happen is an illusion. Whatever appears is that. Whatever appears is the completion. So this isn't about changing that experience. It's not about anything in that sense at all. It's a communication, a sharing, that there is nothing that could possibly happen to make this complete or whole. That said, what that means is there isn't any meaning or purpose. There isn't any actual need for this to become anything. It's not becoming anything anyway, so thank God for that. Ooh, a tough crowd.
You're in New York after all.
What's that?
You're in New York after all.
So I guess one other thing I should say is what's being shared. The difficulty is it's imperceptible. It's not objectifiable. It's not knowable. And that separate experience, all it has, its currency, is knowing, perception, knowing experience, knowing information. And so what it's waiting for is for something to happen in that separate reality to reveal that which can't be known or perceived. That won't happen. So this doesn't have anything to give because it can't be known. It can't be shared in the way of understanding or words. At the same time, it's not different there, but these words, this, as well as that, are that which can't be said, happening. And if there's a willingness, that might be heard.
Willingness.
Yeah, a willingness.
What do you mean by that?
Well, another word for that would be openness.
Yeah, okay.
Jim, you said right away this, something about it's done or something.
Yeah. Well, that's a response to the experience of the individual that something needs to happen. That this isn't it because I don't know it. This isn't it because it's not in my experience. And the response to that is it's already done.
It's already done.
That's an illusion.
It's already done.
It's already done.
Is an illusion?
No. There's no need for something to happen in that way because what's longed for is already done. It's already this.
Yeah. It's already
Completion isn't in the future somewhere else. It's done. Wholeness isn't in the future somewhere else. It's done. Yeah.
So Jim, why does the knower here
Yeah.
feels relentless separation? It does.
Well, no, it doesn't feel separation. It is separation.
It is separation.
Separation isn't a feeling. Feelings come out of separation, like discontent. There's an uneasiness to separation.
That's right. Why?
Because for some reason, don't know, for some reason the experience of being separate is dissatisfying. It encourages a need or has a need to become something. They want to become whole.
And there's no hope to get out of that separateness.
No, well, because it isn't real. It isn't real at any level. There isn't any separateness.
But it seems
Or-
covered up.
Or said a different way, that separateness is that being separateness. Is that which can't be known, being separateness. Yeah, to the separate experience, that which can't be known seems hidden. Yeah.
Is there a degree of, like, as the contracted energy seems to fall away, where this appears to be a little more perfect? Is there any degree, like, when you first had that experience of the contraction energy to fall, right, as to now, is there more deeper, is it deeper now, knowing, or this?
So here there was an apparent process of the me falling away. And in the end, that apparent process, which seemed meaningful and hopeful and all those things, is really irrelevant. Because it's just a process, a story. The process is a story that something is happening in my reality, which is bringing me closer to what's longed for. And nothing could ever bring anything closer to what's longed for because there isn't anything separate already. So it's just a dream of a process of things.
But when the illusory I was there, the process, the illusory process did seem to help this illusory I. The I thought.
Oh yeah. Well, it felt like it.
And it made the I feel better.
Oh, well, or worse. Depending. If it was going in the way the I thought was good, then yeah, better. And then when it wasn't happening quick enough or it wasn't happening anymore, then worse.
Because everyone that speaks on non-duality, they seem to have that same illusory process prior to the falling of the contracted energy. And it all seems to be very similar.
Oh,
You
all right.
Their stories do that. chemistry process seems to be similar when they tell it.
Right. Hmm.
It's so funny because YouTube is a shit show of like non-duality speakers now.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is no one.
Mm.
No.
Well, that's true. Mm.
So Jim, come back to like when you're in like your opening fundamental statement. This is that I've watched your videos a lot. Tony Parsons saying for years. So just to like nail down for myself, you know, what this, right? You say this, right? So in this is this. This isn't the moon though. It's not Mars, right? It's not China and this.
Well,
Like there's no those things, there's no stories.
no, what this is pointing to is that this is that which can't be known. And
this-
that which can't be known is everything appearing as this.
And this, so is there this like China and
Apparently.
yeah, so everything that's like now.
No,
This?
no, it's,
No.
well, I mean, you can call it a now, but for the individual, now is an object.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not about now. That's not what we're talking about, an experience of now or being present. It's that there's nothing outside of that which can't be known. The whole idea of becoming now or changing perspective or perception or anything has to do with the experience that the experience of separation and the need for something to happen. That this isn't it. It needs to be this way or that way.
So
And the
this-
message is, this is it, this way or that way as well.
this way or that way, so that way that I might imagine that it could be.
Everything that happens is it.
Also my imagination.
Everything is it.
Oh yeah, so there's imagining something else could be this,
That's
but
right.
that's also more of this.
That's also, well, it's not, the emphasis here is on that which can't be known. This is simply an appearance. It's just insubstantial. But everything that appears is that which can't be known.
You said-
And so the imagination or anything else, the idea of China or the moon or anything, is that which can't be known appearing as that.
Does this, the way that you are now, still feel compelled to imagine things, or does do imaginings?
Oh, if you build a house or something, it helps to imagine how you want it to look. But it doesn't come from a need that arises out of separation, a need to become in some way. It's not that. It's functional,
I'm
I
not
should say.
imagining one day I'll be the best non-duality speaker.
Oh, I thought I was.
That was resume opening.
Did you notice like any change in your own experience when you were seeking versus not seeking?
Well, that there isn't any experience.
Any change in your own kind of thinking?
Maybe. Well, the whole spiritual thing doesn't happen. The whole drive seeking doesn't happen.
Do you have a sense of like anything bigger or greater than you being out there in the universe?
No, that's the dream of me, that there's something in control, or that there's something that knows what's happening in it. So it gives the experience that this has meaning and purpose, that it's going somewhere. All of that comes out of the separate experience. This part of the separate experience is that this not only has intention, because it's incomplete as it is, but it has meaning and purpose, and there isn't any meaning and purpose. There isn't anything out there.
Would you say your experiences in the earth, I don't know if that's the right language, but
Yeah, it's all right.
when you're seeking versus not seeking, I guess like, would you prefer like you're thinking beforehand versus not, like before versus after? Like, did you notice any kind of benefit after not seeking?
Well, not for anyone. There isn't a benefit for anyone. But seeking sucks. Yeah. There's quite a drive to it, a need. And in some people it can be quite, really dramatic or intense. Yeah.
After the seeker fell, was the thinking less restrictive? Like, were you more of a free, wild west thinker where the thoughts could just come without judgment, without feeling you should think these thoughts?
Well, everything is already unrestricted.
But when the eye is there, there's this sense of contraction.
Yeah, that's the unrestrictedness appearing as restriction. Yeah. It's all freedom already.
Can't sure keep.
Aww. If you pay me enough, I'll say anything you want.
Could I just clarify the question about imagination? Like, if you're imagining, is the imagining also that?
Yeah.
Without any, it's just, that's another, the appearance, whatever the appearance is, that includes thinking and imagination.
Yeah.
Okay.
The discussion is, though, that sort of thinking and imagination comes out of a dissatisfaction. And that dissatisfaction is a part of separation, which is illusory. Mm-hmm. But that has no relevance, in a sense, to what we're talking about, because what's being pointed to is that which can't be known is that as well. Mm-hmm. So the illusory need for something to happen is completely hopeless, mm-hmm. has absolutely no value to it at all. Because it's already done. It's already done.
So then also that alleviates the idea that it should look any way different for me.
Oh, totally. But only conceptually. But only conceptually, because the me will always be looking for something different. It'll be looking for something more. It can't help it. When that experience of separation arises, there's a sense of lack, of need. So it will always do that. But there isn't one. That's just part of an illusion. This is already fulfilled.
I have a sense that all it's like an addictive thing to try to fill that. I mean, that's what addiction is in a way.
Yeah, it is.
Whether it's, booze or gym, yoga, meditation, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it does it. It does it to everything.
Yeah.
Because everything that appears happens to that. There's sort of this thing inside doing that to everything. Absolutely, all perception, everything. It overlays the entire appearance with meaning and purpose, trying to get something out of it, feeling like it needs to find something.
Yeah, and it's like a gnawing, like I've got to grab onto something, Whatever it is that I
Yeah.
happen to be
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that feeling you just described, that's the contracted energy you're feeling?
Well, it's not actually, but it's what do you call it? It comes with it.
Okay, a component.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I've noticed is that when a lot of speakers, not you or anything, but talk about the me, it almost has a pejorative connotation.
What does that mean?
Oh, it just means that it's like, well, it's a bad thing. The me's
Oh,
bad.
right, yeah.
And that then ends up, oh, I need to get rid of the me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in a way, is it more accurate to say that even those energies that we call me, but the energies, are still that.
Yeah.
Without, again.
Totally.
So it's actually, in a way, there's that okayness right there too.
Yeah, yeah, in a sense, but that's just conceptual.
Yeah.
Because the me feels like something needs to happen.
Yeah.
It feels like something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll take okayness, and it might be okay for a minute, but then it'll feel like it can't hold on to it, or it wants to get it back, or find another okayness, which is better.
Would you say that all those attributes that make up the me, maybe this is more of a metaphor, but it's like energy, but the energy is just that too. So it's
absolutely.
So instead of talking about the me, again, others talk about the me as it's kind of implicitly negative. It's fine, just as it is.
Oh, well, it's not, it isn't really fine, because this isn't okay. This isn't okay or fine.
To the me.
No, it just isn't.
Okay.
It just is what it is.
Okay.
It's not okay, it's not fine. The me wants it to be okay and wants it to be fine. It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That which can't be known doesn't have value.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have a value system.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's no naming of it.
No.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
As it is.
Mm. It doesn't have a need to be okay.
Right.
There's no analogy or judgment involved.
Well, all analogy and judgment appears as that appears as analogy and judgment.
I like what you said about willingness. 'Cause I come from a little different realm, yes, and it's always kind of like been a journey for me for the last 30 something years, and then something happened, and I just can't do it anymore.
Mm.
I don't know why. I just kind of gave it up and walked away from it. So, yeah, it's.
You didn't do that.
Pardon me?
You didn't do that.
Yeah.
It just happened.
All of a sudden, and it's like a friend of mine told me he's got kind of quasi meeting. It mixes non-duality and some other stuff, and he said. He said I lost the anxiety behind my fear. It's more intelligent than I can ever.
Sounds good, yeah.
That's pretty much what happened. That anxiety was removed, and so everything's different.
So like you, like when you making a project, there's no intensity about getting it right.
Oh, about getting it right. Oh, maybe. I mean, if you're building a structure, you want it to stand up. And if you don't know how, there might be questioning about,
So it's mostly then, like you're saying, it's only like practicality.
Well, there's no one to be right or wrong, but if it falls down, that's wrong. Well, you did it wrong. Well, you didn't do it wrong, but it was done wrong.
Just trying to see where that.
You can't. And it's another idea that there's a way to get it right. That if you figured it out, then it would be closer to that which can't be known. And there isn't anything closer. There isn't a you. It's all already that.
Does the I am arise from a belief that's
No.
part of it? No, it's not a belief.
No.
So a belief doesn't fall or anything like that.
Well, so the I am, it arises out of a tension in the body.
Yeah, because I can fully agree that I don't exist, but that makes no difference.
Right. Well, this doesn't agree with I don't exist.
Because the belief in I or the experience of I is just more of this.
Well, no, because
It's also this.
there isn't anyone to agree.
Or just
Or experience.
Right. Mm.
So I needs the body to exist.
Yeah.
Without the body, I
Yeah.
dissolves.
So there's hope. Mm. Yeah.
Is there confusion over like, should I do this or should I do this?
Oh, well, it's not really what appears. It's that everything that appears is that.
So, is there a feeling that you're just kind of like seamlessly doing?
No, it's not a feeling, or a knowing, or a state, or an experience.
I guess. But yeah, is there confusion? Or
Like right now, yeah. Don't know what to say. Nothing coming. So is that what you mean? And yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Or like, is there choosing between two things?
Oh, definitely. It's just I'm more right now than I was before. That's a joke. That's a joke. There is choosing, obviously. It's just no one does it. Yeah.
It's funny how the me thinks it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's not just that it's better, but it has the experience of it being better. It has the fulfillment of what it thinks it's looking for.
Yeah.
It has no clue what we're talking about. None.
I was reading a book on psychotherapy by Carl Rogers, and
Yeah.
he talked about looking at therapy in two very different ways.
Behaviorism?
His it was called client-centered therapy. That's kind of like his.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
But he talked about looking at therapy through the lens of like a scientist, kind of like the you were talking about, with like the scientific method and looking at things as separate objects. And then he talked about like as he went through therapy, he noticed kind of like a meditative thinking that was occurring, like in his experience with his client, where he was no longer thinking of his client as a separate person or object from himself, but it was like a thinking like very rooted in experience. And I don't know, I just kind of related that with non-duality, where it was like...
Right, well, it's not.
Yeah. I didn't make a relation. Like Carl Rogers turned into a non-duality.
He'd stop doing therapy if he did.
So would you say that there's more truth in the client-centered approach?
No. I don't know exactly. So I'm not up to date with psychology. I don't know. What I do know is when I studied psychology, they did... this is a long time ago, they did studies with computers and people would tell the computer what its problem was. I guess now we got ChatGPT, but they'd tell the computer what their problem is. I hate my mother, and the computer would respond, oh, so you hate your mother. And they found that helped. So my sense of it is that if someone's heard, that tends to help. And there's no way to integrate yourself to wholeness, because what's truly longed for, the issue and the core issue of the discomfort of all of that, the relevance of all of that, comes out of the illusion of separation.
Do you still have a voice in your head like, okay, I have to do shopping and then I'm going to do this?
Thinking happens.
Is it like a voice?
There's thinking.
Thinking like with the voice or like with image?
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of singing.
Do you find that more thinking or less thinking happens when you're seeking versus not seeking?
I can't tell you that. I used to say it got quieter or softer. It all got softer, but I don't know anything about that now.
Do you feel like you have personal baggage?
There isn't anyone here to have personal baggage.
Do you ever reminisce?
What's that?
Do you ever reminisce?
Reminisce? No, that doesn't seem to happen. Reminisce? No. It doesn't mean anything whether this reminisces or not, or whether this has voices in its head, or depending on what kind of voices, or whether thinking's gotten less. It just doesn't touch what we're talking about. It's an appearance. Whatever appears is that. So if it's whatever, it just has no relevance.
And then again, there's no time.
No. Then again, there's no time.
No. Because, like, I'm looking at all the artifacts.
Hmm.
They're just appearing.
Yeah.
No. Way back.
Yeah. Well, there's an appearance of time.
The appearance.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Hmm.
Could we say that?
Didn't say anything.
No. I was gonna, I forgot what it was. I completely wiped that out of my mind. Oh, yeah, no time. So could you say that there's no time, but there's also no not time?
No, there's no time.
Just leave it at that.
There's nothing. All there is nothing.
The reason I said that was because people would say, okay, well, if there's no time, there's got to be an opposite out there.
Yeah.
In order to be able to say there's no time.
Where did the sense of I seem to be in the body, like behind the eye?
The whole thing, it's got, in some ways, I could tell you stories about things moving here or there, but in the end, it's actually every cell. It was like a coating on every cell that was just nerve endings, just like that. Just.
Well, when you said you could tell me stories about things moving, did you tell one?
Yeah, knowing left from like about here that way. It's a story. It makes no difference.
Right here, the opposite, like the right behind where you just pointed.
Oh, well, that's important. See, that's the problem. That's what happens. Then the me will go, oh, there. Oh, well, what were you doing? I was cutting onions. Man, I better buy some onions.
Were you cutting onions?
Yeah.
So you think maybe it left it?
I've got a bag out there of onions that I've blessed. They're very expensive, but the chances are much higher.
$100 onion.
Oh, that cheap? We're talking about freedom, man. To the me, that all seems relevant. It feels like there's a connection between, well, it feels like it really happens, that this becomes whole. That something's going to happen that's going to make this whole for me.
But when it drops away, the wholeness will be apparent.
It's just, wholeness isn't apparent. The appearance is of wholeness.
At least it won't be hidden anymore.
It's revealed, unveiled by the experience.
I think that's what it feels like it's working towards, to uncover it.
It does, and that's covering it.
The actual act of seeking.
Oh, yeah,
is covering
that's
it.
right,
I've recognized that.
Yeah. Oh, so just so that we're clear, this I had all sorts of insights and all those things it was moving towards. No clue, none whatsoever, no relevance to the wholeness that this is on any level at all. It's completely unexpected. And at the same time, there's a recognition it's never been different. But it's not conceptual.
Would you say it's like the context upon which all the content of reality appears?
Not the content, the realness of the content. It's the realness that the me is, the realness of what's happening.
Could you explain realness a little bit more? I could look at that, I guess.
Well,
Unrealness or realness?
unreal or real? I didn't hear that.
Because you said it also the real, what's happening. You said realness, and I'm thinking like unrealness.
Yeah. So the realness is, simply put, the experience is I'm real, and that experience is at the same time everything is real.
So all these thoughts about what it would be like, this energy moving, this is getting so like it means
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
Everything
absolutely.
means nothing.
No.
Things I need to emotionally confront means nothing.
Nothing means anything.
I definitely find a sense of relief in knowing that, though.
Oh, right. I don't know it.
I find benefit.
I don't. This does not know what we're talking about. No, but I hear you. There can be a relief, and there can be a relaxation. There can also be a loss of beliefs. So superficial through the understanding of what's being said, there can be a loss of beliefs in other things. Yeah, absolutely. A loosening of that contraction, definitely.
More open to experience too, would you say?
I don't know. Maybe that's a part of it. Yeah. Well, if the beliefs were confining or restrictive, and those were loosened, then yeah, that would be more open to experience. But there's no value to a loss of belief, relief, relaxation, or being open to experience. There's no value to any of that. That's just that which can't be known appearing as that.
Can I ask you about the statement, the message is terrifying, and that it's not just from you, a lot of other people say that too.
Oh.
But I feel like
Can be.
Yeah, I feel like it never was terrifying here because the cushion of there never was a me. So if the message was there's a you and that you has to end, that seems terrifying. But then you follow up with well, there's not a you now.
Right.
So that seems to make it just so not terrifying.
Okay.
Do you feel like there's a movement toward this freedom? Like,
No.
it's,
There can't be a movement towards freedom.
there's no evolution.
No, there's no evolution to freedom.
We've been lied to a lot about that.
Oh. Oh well. That's freedom.
That's freedom for you. Kind of one of the more like ungraspable things said here, like the more riddles, is like that this is unknowable and it's nothing. I guess seems totally ungraspable. It's like I would say that that's not my experience. I experience that I know.
Not here either.
Yeah. But somehow that become obvious after awakening that there's nothing. There's
No thing.
unknowableness.
No thing, yeah. Everything is no thing.
Like last night you said the hand is handing.
Well, no. The hand is that which can't be known, handing.
Oh, okay, yes, that.
Oops.
You know, I guess it is not obvious to me that my hand can't be known.
Me either. It's not an experience. And it's more that there's a hand and there's no one to know that.
Yeah, because I experienced that I know there's a
Yeah,
hand here.
yeah. That's the illusion.
And that's on everything.
Oh, absolutely. Well, as long as there's...
That's total, there's nothing.
That's true. Absolutely. That's why the whole idea of a process or a movement towards nothing or anything is just part of the story of me.
There's
Because
no way out of this.
there's no way out. No.
That's a solid.
It's
sphere of
completely, yeah,
experience.
that's right.
It's very thick.
Well, it's not actually.
Yeah, it is.
It's about that way.
You would tell me it's not
No.
exactly, but otherwise. and
The
every other
experience
message-
is, yeah.
Yeah, every other message that I've heard forever.
Yeah. Is that?
Very similar.
Oh, it's not.
Do you think that the experience of separation could vary depending on like the cultural context? Like I know like in Western culture we're taught that our sense of self is very localized onto like ourselves.
Yeah.
Like in, I don't know, like an African village, like yourself is more of like the whole
Yeah,
village.
totally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are different sort of qualities of me's, but there's still separation.
There's no movement towards this because
It is
there's no
already.
time, right?
It is already.
Yeah, there's no time.
Yeah,
So it's not
yeah,
possible to
yeah.
have a movement.
Yeah. Yeah, but more to the point, it is already. This is already free.
Yeah.
So Jim, I just want to get some context. So this separate I, so when the life is unfolding exactly the way I want it, I am happy. I'm not longing. I'm happy with the separation as well, because I'm happy. But when the emotionally traumatic memories come in, then that sense of I is suffocating becomes very intense. And there's a strong tension because now I can feel that I very strongly. And so it's a fluctuation that life.
No, it's not.
No.
No. No. It's a constant. The experience, the discomfort of dissatisfaction with separation. If that experiencer feels like it's getting what it wants, that will temporarily relieve any dissatisfaction. And this isn't about there being happiness or unhappiness. There's not more of an I in unhappiness. There's just an experience the I doesn't want there. And then it looks to this, it hears like there's something else to help it, to get out of that feeling. But that's really quite superficial to what we're talking about here. Because really, there isn't anyone that has a life. This doesn't come from anywhere. It's completely original. It's completely new as it is. And it isn't going anywhere. So the whole story you've talked about is just the story of me trying to maintain a happy experience and looking for another technique to deal with when it's unhappy. And that has nothing to do with what we're talking about here.
I feel about this that it's the most interesting conversation, and then also it doesn't lead to a lot of conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you were saying that some of your contractions went away after some time, after your search had already stopped?
No.
No.
Mm. No, but in the story, Jim was convinced that it was over.
Okay.
Yeah, a
So
number of times. What's that?
Would you say like the questions and the searching stopped arising?
Questions ended here quite quickly.
Okay, but there was still
Seeking.
time with contract. And
Yeah.
the seeking, you would say the seeking was the contraction that was still there.
Yeah,
And
well,
the questions-
seeking comes out of the contraction, yeah.
Okay. So when the question stops,
That was just worse.
right?
It's awful not to have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty hopeless at that point. There's not even anything to ask.
And so the contractions just started to happen, unravel naturally. I mean, I guess you would have to say that, right?
But it has no
Because there was no question.
unraveling and loosening of contraction has no relevance to the end of separation. It's just another story.
But there was confusion when you weren't having questions.
Confusion,
Or-
no, it was
just- yeah.
disconcerting.
Yeah.
The whole thing was disconcerting.
Yeah.
There was a reality to something that was being heard that meant nothing to me.
Mhm. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
My questions stopped years ago, actually. And,
Mm.
but after, my whole life, just obsessive on it.
Mm.
And so,
Mm.
but there's still contractions and all the rest of it. But I'm just,
But this isn't about contractions.
Yeah.
So I had no idea of what the contraction was until it fell away.
Mhm.
None.
But Jim thought he did.
Oh yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. But there were certain, loosenings up and things that were all meaningful and all that stuff. Yeah.
And he thought it ended many times.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, wow, there couldn't be less than this.
So did you tell your friends it happened?
Don't know that I really told anybody about this.
Well, you start to notice all the false alarms, I think. It doesn't mean anything anymore, right? 'Cause I feel like here I
This didn't, no. So in the story of Jim, it was all very meaningful and purposeful and a bit special.
Because here, I mean, I felt that end happen too many times, but it's just what happens now. It has no meaning anymore because it's just like I don't believe it.
Mm. Mm.
But it was noticeable that something had apparently fallen by.
When?
When the actual, not when the false end happened, when it ended, it was noticeable.
Here it was. I don't know that everybody would notice.
But it was there.
Yeah. Oh.
Something to look forward to. I can't wait. I'm getting closer now.
So this situation is irreversible? It's like...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's the end. So it's the end of something that never happened.
But even if you wanted to be...
Well, there never was a Jim.
Yeah. So it's impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what's scarier is it's already that way.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, without the me.
There isn't a me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I'm trying to say something.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's no experience, but like, let's say a snowstorm, okay? For Jim, he's not there. Is things more profound?
No. No. There's no one to be overwhelmed.
So it's flatlined.
No. No, it's what it is. It's just what it is. It's just happening.
See, I thought it would be cleaner, because the me has everything, and the structure, and the judgments, and this is, so I thought it would be cleaner, and if it were cleaner, it might be more.
But there isn't something else. You're talking about there being something else. Another experience, a different, it'll be different when there's no me.
Like appearing now.
What's that?
Appearing
Yeah?
now.
Yeah? That's purity.
Uh-huh.
That's purity. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean purity? Yeah,
I mean, it's already pure.
It's already
Needlessly perfect.
See, I think when if there's no me to make,
There isn't one.
yeah, I can't question out. Somehow it would be, how do I explain,
You're explaining it really well. You're talking about another, better, or different experience. There isn't a me. There is no you.
So when there's no one there, there's probably no impulse or likely no impulse to take psychedelics.
It's just not about what appears. It's that what appears is that what's longed for. It's already that. So those words, looking, sitting, is that. That's doing it. It's that apparently happening. That's it. That's all we're saying.
So is spirit considered a thing?
Yeah. Well, spirit sounds like a thing. Yeah. I don't know what spirit is. Do you?
No.
No.
It's like, I know nothing to do.
Well, I wouldn't call what we're talking about spirit.
So it's not like it's not like the transcendent of the physicality of the self. So
Well, the self isn't physical. It comes out of a physical, but it's not physical.
right, the me is something that I've developed into, right, or something.
Well, it's not that you've developed into it, it is you. Yeah. There isn't a me and an I that separates from it.
Would you say that the I is purely created by thought?
No. Well, it's not. No.
know, when, like, you know, when the beliefs, particularly the spiritual beliefs, are going away, it's like when something happens, like, you know, like death.
Death doesn't happen. I mean, there's dead bodies, but no one knows about it. Aww.
It's, you know, it appears different, you know?
When the body's dead?
No, not my body, their body.
Oh, yeah, it looks dead, yeah.
No, come on.
No, a dead body looks dead. Is that not what we're talking about?
I'm saying, like, for me, this feels, it's different.
Oh, a dead body feels different here too. A dead body's different than a live one.
No, but it's more profound.
Oh, I know. Yeah, for the me, yeah, it wants profundity. It feels profound. It feels like its existence is profound and meaningful.
It's like you don't have the spiritual side, so it becomes like that.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
It's horrible.
Yeah. It's the worst. For the me, death is the worst.
Yeah.
All fear is the fear of death. All fear. It can't stand to lose. It can only want to get. And death is the loss of everything. That's its experience. That's its idea. It thinks it's going to know it lost everything, which of course doesn't make any sense. Because if there wasn't any experience, who's going to know? Wash your mouth out with soap.
Listen, I'm in New York.
What do you think happens to the individual when death occurs?
Well, there isn't an individual.
But what do you think happens when death occurs?
That the body dies.
That's all.
That's what happens. You can see dead bodies. Yeah. No, death is a concept. It's just a concept. Just like loss is a concept. Because there isn't anything owned already. This doesn't belong to anyone. This isn't had by anyone. The idea that I have a life that moves through time and I own all of these things is really just a form of knowing. And that knowing comes out of or comes with the experience of separation. It's a complete illusion. There isn't anything owned or in that way known. This knows how to drive a car, but it doesn't knowingly own or have anything because there isn't anyone to have it. So this is death in the same way that it's simply what that appearing is this. The body dying is that appearing as a body dying. For the me, it imagines that it will either know it's dead or not know it's dead. And either way, no one's dead. It's a concept. It's a belief.
You could say death is just a concept.
Yeah, it's a belief, yeah. Well, not a dead body. There are dead bodies.
The process of death, of like me dying, you think it's just...
Oh, the individual? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just part of a belief system. Yeah, yeah.
So the only thing that disappears is the memory of that was in the body?
Oh, memory, yeah. Memory disappears. All the brain stuff, yeah.
But basically it's just memory.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not conscious.
No. Well, there isn't any consciousness. So if there's an experience of consciousness, that would also disappear.
There's the consciousness of everything, but
Well, that's the
we
dream.
don't use that word, but
Because it's part of the illusion.
not the consciousness of the self, but the consciousness.
Yeah, that's an illusion, that there's a consciousness in which everything happens. That's an illusion. That's part of the dream.
Yeah, it's Richard Sylvester. I read him saying that like the experience of spirits and ghosts and all that is just a creation of the self, and not any evidence of anyone going to anything beyond this here.
Right, yeah.
So the everything.
The everything, yeah.
Is it the word you use?
Yeah.
Yeah. How the everything is not the consciousness.
Well, consciousness is a it's an imposition on that which has no name.
So it's a concept.
It's a concept, yeah. Because you can't, so consciousness seems to be something, perceptible,
For some people, maybe. Yeah.
perceptible or knowable or objectifiable or understandable or something along the, it makes sense, consciousness. What we're talking about here is that which doesn't make sense. It appears as sense, but it can't be perceived. It can't be perceived. Can't be recognized, perceived, known, objectified.
Consciousness also cannot be perceived.
Yeah. In that case, I just find it misleading because consciousness seems to be a thing, used as a thing that you should be conscious, more conscious. Be the witness of consciousness.
Because we often use consciousness for itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that this nothing is everything. Everything is nothing. This, it's whole.
Not whole.
No, because I don't want to know.
No. It's just not separate.
Can't be envisioned
No.
for nobody.
No, there's no vision of it.
No, okay.
Yeah. It's not perceptible. This
'Cause
doesn't.
Some people say one.
Yeah.
Some people say none, and some people say zero.
Yeah.
Some people say.
Yeah. Well, whole.
You say.
I say all sorts of things actually.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, so no, of course not. But some words can be misleading. And unfortunately, if someone is talking about this and doesn't know what they're, or knows what they're saying, even if it's the same words, that can also be misleading. But that doesn't matter.
Okay, so we're just going with whole.
Whole meaning not separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Complete. Yeah. The separation is the experience that I am in a body, I know myself, I know I am, and that I knowingness is, when it appears here, it appears in everything else. So there's a reality to this being here, seeing that being there. There's a knowingness of that. And that is the experience of separation. And that is dissatisfying. It's needful. It has a fear. It fears things. It's anxious. It's generally anxious about its existence, about being able to get what it needs, or survival in the end is what it's anxious about. And wholeness is merely pointing out, or that word, or saying that this is that, is just pointing out that that experience is an illusion. Has no reality outside the experience itself. That's how thin it is. It's that experience. It's all it is. And everything is already not two. No thing can appear as two, but it's only an appearance. It's only no thing appearing. So in that sense, nothing really ever happens, because it's all just simply not two-ness appearing to happen.
Like stories don't have a lot of value to the message.
Yeah.
And this is it has a tough time understanding how there isn't like cause and effect in, like, for example, the story of Jim, how Jim seeking something didn't lead to us being here right now listening to this message.
Right, right. Well, because this doesn't come from anywhere.
Okay. Trying to understand, but okay.
No, you can understand it.
Okay.
That this is a singular appearance. All there is immediacy. That's the whole of everything. And the immediacy is that which can't be known appearing as this. And what it also can appear as is a story or a history to the appearance of this. But it's still that which can't be known, which is not in time, appearing as this. Appearing as a memory. The experience, or the memory of an experience of walking here. That's simple, really. What you can't get is the experience of that, because that's not an experience. Experience is that this comes from somewhere and is going somewhere, has meaning and purpose and intention. But the ideas, you can get those. Yeah? Yeah. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, I wanted to say something. There is no value or anything said here to take with you, or to use, or to apply. None whatsoever. It's completely without value, what's been shared here today. All that's being said is everything is already that, and that has nothing to do with you.